Well, we've talked about some of the best movies of the year, and now it's time to talk about some real turds. My name is Tom, welcome back to my movie channel, and thank you very much for joining me. If you guys haven't been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so you never miss out on my take on all things movies. I will say this first of all, you don't have to agree with my list. That is the beauty of movies. Everyone has their own opinion, so I'm not trying to sour your enjoyment of any of the movies I'm about to list here. The intention of this list is not to yuck on your yum, it's just to give my personal opinion. That being said, let's get started. Number 10 is Frozen 2. I know the majority of people that went to see Frozen 2 actually ended up really enjoying it, and I'm a fan of the first Frozen movie. I'm a big defender of that film. That's a film that I really did enjoy. And I think Let It Go, as overplayed as it is one of the greatest Disney songs of all time. So I was very much looking forward to seeing Frozen 2. Frozen 2 is a movie that I feel is very poorly conceived, very poorly written, and it feels like a movie to me that was thrown together simply because the first Frozen was such a big hit. And there are a lot of choices made in Frozen 2 by characters and by the creative team that really didn't make any sense and really felt unearned, especially with something that happens at the very end of the movie. The way this movie ends with a choice that a character makes was so unearned to me. It might be the most unearned thing in a movie I've seen all year. I just thought this movie was poorly written, and as beautifully animated as it is, Frozen 2 was a movie that just let me down, and I don't like that movie at all. So I'm just going to ignore Frozen 2 and just be happy with the original Frozen. I don't know why I was surprised that Maleficent 2 sucked, because I hate the first Maleficent movie. The first Maleficent movie is nothing but Angelina Jolie yelling at things for 2 hours. And Maleficent 2, while the yelling from Angelina Jolie's part is toned down a bit, the movie, first of all, the title sucks. It's Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Maleficent is mistress of being kind of upset about stuff. And the focus of this movie really isn't about Maleficent. It is about Aurora. So in that sense, it's not really a Maleficent movie. And aside from that, Maleficent disappears for like half the movie. So this was just another movie to me that feels like, so it's such a poorly conceived movie, and it really did feel like a draft of a script that was handed into Disney. And the film overall ended up feeling like someone trying to ape Disney's product. Like someone tried to make a Disney feeling movie and ended up failing at that. It really does feel like a send-up or a parody of a Disney movie, unintentionally, I think. And as well as like bad dialogue, some bad acting, and all of the above. Maleficent 2 just sucks, okay? It just does. I didn't like the movie. I know some people did. The friend I saw it with absolutely loved it. That's totally cool. Maleficent 2, not a movie that worked for me. Well, you won't be putting on a happy face when I tell you that my number 8 is Joker. Yeah, I know. I get it. Joker is a movie that a lot of people, the majority of people, love and adore. And I understand that. And again, I'm not trying to sour your enjoyment of this movie. If you love it, that's fantastic. Good on you. More power to you. I wish I could say I love Joker. Unfortunately, I didn't. I found this movie to be absolutely boring. I thought it was a snooze fest. Look, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in this film. He deserves a Best Lead Actor nomination at the Academy Awards. He does. He is terrific in this film, and he is like the only thing I liked about the movie. And aside from a couple of scenes, again, showcasing Joaquin Phoenix in this film, a couple of scenes towards the end I really did enjoy. I just found this movie to be really pretentious. And I just got the impression watching the movie that the filmmakers was screaming at me the whole time saying, look at how profound we are, look at how deep and meaningful and nuanced this film is. And I didn't get that sense at all. Like, aside from the character that Joaquin Phoenix is portraying and that performance, I thought the rest of the movie just fell flat. Like, if you just isolate that performance, Joker works well, but the rest of the movie, it just falls flat around him. And Joker was a movie I just got bored with, and I didn't like the movie. It didn't work for me. You want to talk about one of the biggest disappointments of the year? It Chapter 2. This was a movie, again, I love that first It movie. That first It movie was such a big surprise to me, considering I'm not a horror guy at all. I was terrified going to see the first It. I love the first It. I really do. It gave me... So it's one of the movies that really recently have gotten me into watching more horror movies and inspired me to watch more of those movies in that genre. But It Chapter 2 is a movie that is way too long, and that's where this movie suffers the most to me, is this movie is so long. There are so many repetitive things that happen in the movie. And I get it, the movie references the, stories having bad endings and all that stuff. And to me, the movie tried to use that as a get out of jail free card for the bad ending of the movie. And that's not a get out of jail free card. Just because you mention it and make a joke about it in the movie, it doesn't mean you get away with it. Look, It Chapter 2 sucks. Here's how much I was bored watching It Chapter 2, okay? I'm sitting there with my friend, and there is a couple 3 rows ahead of us who are being just very loud, very obnoxious, very distracting in the movie. They're just talking as if they're sitting in their own living rooms, not giving a crap about anyone else sitting in the theater with them. And my friend kept leaning over and saying, I'm going to go and get a staff person to come and tell them to shut the fuck up. And I'm like, look, you can do that if you're enjoying. I'm not enjoying the movie so much that I don't care. I'm more interested in what they're talking about than I am about what's going on screen. And I'm not saying It Chapter 2 doesn't have some redeeming qualities. It does. I think the performances are all very strong. But again, I feel like it was a movie that it's just a movie that didn't work for me. It was way too long, way longer than what it needed to be. And really, it's a movie that just suffers from sequelitis to me. Look, Annabelle came home this year, and man, I really wish she didn't. Annabelle Comes Home. I don't know how many people saw this film. I'm not sure. I didn't look up reviews or anything for this movie. This wasn't a movie I wasn't gonna see it. I just wasn't. And my brother dragged me to see it, and he was like, I'll pay for your drinks and your ticket if you come with me. I was like, okay, cool. So we went to see it. We both walked out going, what the fuck was that? The entire movie, people just walk around a house and look at things. And it's a movie that tries to set up so much tension, but it's so focused on tension and trying to build suspense and waiting for things to jump out and scare the crap out of you. And it focuses on those things for so long that by the time something jumps out, you're asleep. I was so relentlessly bored watching Annabelle Comes Home because literally nothing happened in this movie. Fucking nothing happened at all. Not all movies can make my top 10 best of the year list. Some do, but not us. Not us. This is a movie that, again, I think divided a lot of people. A lot of people really, really love this movie. A lot of people are like, this movie's a masterpiece. And some other people are like, you know what? I don't get it. I'm confused and I didn't like it. And I'll be the first one to admit, look, I don't understand this movie. I don't. And I know a lot of people who do this kind of stuff are very afraid to admit that they don't understand something. I don't get this movie at all, and that's why I didn't like it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like it. I was bored watching this movie because I don't get it. And as many people who have tried to explain it to me, I still don't get it. So maybe and that's on me. Like I'm a dumb piece of shit nobody, okay? I didn't like this movie. I didn't get it. Lupita Nyong'o is amazing, and she was great in this movie. This movie has some fun sequences, but ultimately, it's a movie that didn't work for me. I don't get it. I don't think I'll ever get it, but try and explain it to me in the comments if you can, but we'll see. I can't think of anything interesting for Godzilla King of the Monsters. I mean, I'm not actually saying that. I'm just quoting the script that was given to Warner Brothers. I was getting excited for this movie. I was, just to see Godzilla take on a bunch of other monsters. That sounds fun, right? Well, apparently not. Listen, even the sequences with Godzilla, even the action and the monster fights in this movie is such a letdown because, again, studios and filmmakers, I don't think a lot of them follow the model that I feel like they should be following. Look at a movie like Bumblebee, okay? Look at that film. That is a film with a giant CGI thing interacting with human characters. That movie proves that you can do a movie with a giant CGI element and human characters and also make the human characters interesting. Godzilla King of the Monsters is a movie that focuses a lot on Godzilla, as it should, but all the human characters are idiots, and you don't care about any of them. I don't know any of their names, and it treats the audience like we're idiots. I mean, the movie even has the villain of the movie, the mother, or villain of the movie, the mum character. She gives this whole like PowerPoint presentation, and literally it's a PowerPoint presentation, and she's already got graphics ready, and she's explaining the villain's evil plan to the good guys. It's like, come on, how dumb do you think the audience is? There's surely a better way to do exposition than this. Godzilla King of the Monsters, man, like, look, the CGI is fantastic. I'll give it that. But even then, with the CGI monster fights, it's all shot at like in nighttime and in rain, so you really can't tell what's going on anyway. And look, I'm excited for Godzilla vs. King Kong. I'm just praying that movie at least delivers on that promise, because Godzilla King of the Monsters didn't deliver on any of the promise that it had. This next movie is a masterpiece if you have a foot fetish. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Look, listen, I know a lot of people that came out of this movie that said this movie's a masterpiece, it's Quentin Tarantino's best movie, this movie's gonna get Best Picture of the Year nominations. I don't understand, and someone needs to explain to me why this movie needed to be 3 hours long. I don't understand that. To me, this is a movie that has some funny scenes, some cool scenes, but it is a movie of cool scenes stitched together that don't really flow as an overall story. It's a movie full of cool little sequences and moments in these characters' lives, but it's not really an overall arching story. And you may feel different than I do on that, and that's totally fair, but that's just the way I looked at it. And I went to see this movie with my friend Ali because we'd heard how amazing it is and how awesome the final 20 minutes of the movie are, and that's the reason we stuck it out, because half an hour in, we both wanted to leave. But we stuck around because we heard the last 20 minutes, the most amazing 20 minutes of the year, aside from the last 20 minutes of Endgame. And I'm sorry, but the last 20 minutes of the movie wasn't actually that good. It just wasn't. Like, it's kind of funny, but I didn't enjoy this movie. I really didn't. I think it is Tarantino's worst movie, and I'm not really a big Tarantino fan anyway, so maybe I'm a little biased in that sense. Maybe I was already predisposed to not like this movie because I'm already not a Tarantino fan. But that being said, it doesn't change the fact that I didn't like this movie. I really don't like this movie. And Ali and I are considering like taking the DVD and recutting it ourselves because we just think that would be a really fun thing to do. Yeah, man, this movie, and what is with all the shots of feet? I don't understand. Like, does Quentin Tarantino, does he have a foot fetish? Does he? Because this whole movie is people driving in a car down a street and feet. That's all this movie is. Number 2 on the list is Hellboy. This movie, for a long time, was number 1 on this list. Listen, there is no way I can fully reiterate to you my feelings on Hellboy because I think in my original review, I put it so perfectly. And so what I've done is I've cut that review down to like a 10-second clip so you'll understand my full feelings on Hellboy. Enjoy.
Fucking sucks.
Fucking goddamn, so very incompetent. I can't believe it. Fucking deserves it. Fucking sucked. Stupid, dumb shit of a fucking tree. Ah! So that'll do it, guys, for my top 10 worst movies of the year list. Make sure you jump down in the comments section below and let me know what some of the worst movies you've seen in 2019 are. Again, the intention of this list was not to yuck on anybody's yum. I don't want to take away anyone's enjoyment. If you enjoy any of those films, that's totally cool. More power to you. I'm glad you got enjoyment out of them. But those are 10 films that this year that just didn't work for me at all. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so you never miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom, and I will see you guys next time.